Namaste and good morning to all of you. Let's start our Wednesday class with some prayers. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parbrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Bhu Bhavaswaha, Tatsavitra Varenayam, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Asto Ma Satkamya, Tamso Ma Jyotirgamya, Mrityurma Amritam Gamya. Om Sahna Bhavatu, Sahna Bhunatu, Saviryam Karvavahi, Tejasvi Navadhitamastu, Ma Vidvishavahi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We often talk about the truth. We have seen people say, no, I am telling the truth. In the court of law also, both the parties, they say, we are telling the truth. So what is truth? That is the topic today. Okay, because the truth is one of the virtue which Rishi Patanjali talked about too. Truth, truthfulness. And the truth is a very ambiguous word. It is a difficult concept to explain. Everyone has conviction this way too as truth. But among countless different ideas, what is really true? Truth is relative and truth is absolute. So two kinds of truth. So it passes through many evolutions in the relative stages before it reaches the absolute state. For example, two people are discussing a business venture. One makes a proposal that is sure to bring success, and the other person makes a counter proposal that accomplishes the same goal but has additional advantages. But then a third person comes along and has an even better idea. Each method was true in its own right, but in a relative sense. In the absolute sense, when we talk about truth, anything that contradicts true happiness, peacefulness, is untrue. And that which gives permanent happiness is the truth in the absolute sense. And the permanent happiness refers not to the temporary thrill that comes with material success and pleasure, but both to the joy found in the soul's attunement with God. By this standard, you can judge any action you perform as to its projected end result, whether or not that action will promote lasting happiness, lasting peace. The ultimate truth is God. That's why we call him Sat Chit Ananda. God is the ultimate truth. The universe is upheld by this truth through the operation of Lord's cosmic laws. These laws are basic truth that are eternal, Shashwat, and not subject to human beings' manipulation. See, relative truth we can manipulate, but absolute truth cannot be manipulated. For instance, the absolute truth is that since God is templed in every creature, It is wrong to kill or to harm another. That is the absolute truth. But in the relative sense, the lesser of the two evils may be to use force to protect. Protect whom? Protect the innocent from an evil person. Or to kill a lower form of life to save a higher form of life. That's a relative truth. But to destroy anything just for the sake of killing is wrong. That is absolute truth. The universal law is a unity through love, necessitating the practice of tolerance and amity. If you want to find truth, your thoughts and actions must be true. Okay? Physically, morally, and spiritually. In accordance with the eternal divine principles. So it's not just only one layer of our personality. There has to be all three of them: physical, mental, intellectual. Truth is the ultimate substance. Let me explain where the presence of that substance is to be found. Substance. What is the substance which we talk about? It means that everything is linked with cosmic intelligence. The tree, the sky, a bird, a person, they're all linked. And that link is called substance. Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, he said it is the sutra, it is the thread in which all the monies are woven. Sutra. So that link is called substance, the essential nature of all phenomena. It is the connecting link that makes us all the manifestations one essence. Without that substance, tree cannot stay alive. And the same substance is needed for human beings to stay alive. The substance of the truth is hidden. What you see are only phenomenal appearances, which are arising out of the Prakriti. Maya, cosmic delusion, whatever name you give, the forms are coming from there. But substance is there. Now there are three ways of arriving at truth. Three ways. One is through sense perception. And we are all familiar with our senses. Very powerful senses Creator has given to us. Power to see, power to hear, power to smell, power to touch and taste. And the second one is through inference, which is called anuman. And the third one is called through intuition. If your sense perception is wrong, your inference will be wrong. Looking at the horizon, you may think there is a fire because you see smoke. But as you approach the site, you find it was just a cloud of dust. So in order to apprehend the truth of anything, you depend upon your sight, your hearing, your smell, your taste, or touch, plus the power of your mind. But these could not be ultimate proof of the truth. Because if the senses lie, the mind will lie too. Because mind is depending upon the senses. Your mind draws its conscious conclusions from what the senses perceive. So mind is getting the power from the consciousness, but it's looking through the senses. And senses are extremely limited. The ears are tuned only to certain rates of vibration. We know that. The highest and the lowest sounds your ears cannot catch. If the power of your hearing were sufficiently increased, you would hear the magnificent sound that the universe is making. That Om sound. So going on, but we don't hear it because our ears cannot catch it. Everything is in motion, and that motion is accompanied by sound. Nothing is at rest except in that transcendental sphere of soul where there's no vibration. Everything else is moving. Even the scientists, they believe that. But the rishis, they talked about it in Vedic time, the same truth. Right within your body, you can hear those vibratory sounds of creation, manifestations of that omnipresent Om. So we can listen to that Om, which is going on by shutting our ears. Because with the help of our ears, we cannot hear it. The same way, eyes are limited. We cannot see God with these eyes. We can only see God by closing these eyes. So, but being of a higher rate of vibration, those finer sounds are audible only to your astral ear. That's called an astral ear. The subtle power that provides the gross sense of hearing to your physical body. If the power of your eyes were increased, you will see all kinds of different lights. There are a lot of lights out there. Your physical eyes show you only a very limited scope of light. But your spiritual, which is an astral eye, sees the true nature of all things. Images which are composed of God's creative light. Your whole body, which you perceive as solid flesh, is nothing but electromagnetic waves. Ordinarily, you close your eyes, you see only the darkness. I often hear that from people. When they meditate, all they see is darkness. But with this spiritual development, you will see wonderful lights. With closed eyes. These are the fundamental truths that we do not perceive because our senses are all tuned only to a limited range of certain gross vibrations. So if you really want to know the truth, we have to practice to reach towards the ultimate truth, the absolute truth. Otherwise, we keep on juggling between the relative truth. So how are we going to find the truth? And I'm talking about the ultimate truth, the absolute truth. That reality that lies behind what the senses perceive. We know that we cannot do it by our rationalizing mind because our mind falls victim to the senses. It only infers about what the senses tell it. So the mind does not comprehend the infinite forces that are dancing all around. So it's there, but we cannot see it. Only by the development of intuition can we know what is truth. Intuition. Intuition is a direct perception. It is the all-knowing, pure comprehension of the soul. Intuition. Lord Krishna used a Sanskrit word for intuition, which is a pragya. We have an inkling of the nature of intuition through these unexplained feelings, which we normally call hunches. What is a hunch? Hunch is a undeveloped intuition. Undeveloped. Something you know without the medium of the senses or inference, some truth that comes of itself. For example, you may be sitting quietly and for no reason you think of someone you haven't seen or had contact with for a long time. And then suddenly he arrives, or you hear from him or her. Now, how did you know? It was through a momentary flash of intuition. Momentary. That's why I called it a undeveloped. That kind of spontaneous intuition all of us have. We have felt it from time to time. But yogis, they have developed it. They can catch it, they can use it at will. Errors in judgment are a result of not having developed intuition. Because we often say that there's an error in my judgment. Most of us have had the feeling that we could be great and do great things, but because we have lacked intuitive power, that potential has for the most part remained dormant. So that means it is there, but we didn't choose it. It's almost like sitting on a box full of jewels, but never knew about it. Almost like a beggar sitting on a box of jewels and begging. To progress and to avoid the misery of mistakes, you have to find what is the truth in everything. This is possible only if you develop your intuition. This is the practical truth of the matter. That is why we need to cultivate and use intuitive power in everything. In our relationship with others, in our business dealings, in our married life, in every part of our life. Intuition is essential. By not developing the faculty of intuition, you make wrong decisions. You pick the wrong business associates and get caught up in wrong personal relationships. Since the judgment of your mind is conditioned by the information fed to it by the senses, if your senses become deluded, you may think a person is wonderful without knowing what that person truly is. But intuition will never make such a mistake. It will not look at the magnetic power of the eyes or at the attractive face or a personality of a person, but will feel and perceive accurately in the heart what that person truly, really is. As we develop intuition, comes a certain feeling or a still voice. If you use your intuition, you will know the very purpose for which you exist in this world. There won't be any doubts about it. No fluctuations in the mind. You know this is it. And when you find that, you will find happiness as well as peace. They both go hand in hand. This kind of a happiness, which is coming from truth. This earth where we reside is a stage, and God is the stage manager. We have heard that. If everyone insisting on being the kings and the queens, an unfolding drama would be impossible. Because on this stage, the leaders are needed and the followers are needed too. The servants are needed and the heroes as well. Because we all have to play our part right in order for this play to be successful. And the villains are those who upset the righteous drama of the Lord. It's God's play. So no matter what material position a person possesses or fortune one has collected, cannot be called successful if it was gained by evil means. And this is what I meant by villain. If your actions are to hurt somebody, your thoughts are deceiving other people, then you are not successful, no matter how much you have. True happiness is possible only if one plays his part rightly and not otherwise. The one who's playing the millionaire's part and the one who's playing the role of an hourly employee, both are the same in the eye of God. On the last day on this earth, we all know all the possessions will be gone from us. All the titles will be gone from us. What you have acquired in your chit is all that you take with you. Got to remember that. So we got to keep an eye. What are we collecting inside our mind? Is a peace there, truth there, God there? Or is something else is there? Great people know this truth because of their intuitive power. That's why we call them great. Because they perceive not only through the eyes and the mind, but through the intuition that is so developed that they know everything. They have a clarity about everything, no doubt about everything. We are all children of God. We have been sent here to play our part. It is not the part, but how we play it that concerns our Creator. Never be discouraged when your role is difficult, or the world thinks that your role is not important. Every role is important. The only way to know and to live in truth is to develop the power of intuition. Then you will see that life has a meaning. Otherwise, no matter how much you accumulate, there is always a little feeling that what is the purpose of life? Why did I do this? Busy collecting the stones? For what? When you develop the power of intuition, you will see that life has a meaning. That no matter what you are doing, there is an inner voice which is guiding you. Because constantly we are looking a guidance from outside. But there's an inner voice which is guiding us constantly, and we just don't hear it. The voice has long been drowned in the mire of untrue thoughts. The surest way to liberate the expression of intuition is, you all know, by meditation. That is the surest way. Early in the morning and before going to bed at night, meditate. It is almost like keeping an engagement with God. All other engagements which we think are so essential, so important, when we keep our engagement with God every day, other engagements will become meaningful too. So we should never forget this engagement with God. On a daily basis, no matter where you are, no matter what kind of circumstances you are going through, this connection with God. Because sometimes you may think that you are too busy. Suppose if God says, I am too busy, what will happen? You never think like that. Because we will drop in our tracks right away if God says, I'm too busy. So to keep your daily appointment with God, you must reserve the time for Him. Just like we have time for our children, our grandchildren, to eat, to bathe, to do a lot of other things. We have time to meet people. But the most important person, we don't have any time. Meditate and pray deeply. And always wait for His response. Do not just do a couple of minutes of meditation or the prayers and be gone. Wait there after a while. See what God is talking, God is saying to you. If you repeatedly call on Him with ever deeper concentration, He will answer your prayers. A joy and peace will strike your heart when that comes. This is how He is answering the prayers. Sometimes we think we need to win a lottery or something. No. Joy and peace, this is what He gives us. When you feel that joy and peace within you, not from something outside, you know that you are communing with God. Remember that. If you make the effort, you shall contact that power. Give yourself that opportunity. You cannot succeed unless you try. Because this is something nobody else can do it for you. No guru can, no God can. No person can. You cannot buy it. This is something we need to do it ourselves. If you spend your life in constant worldly excitement, you will never know what true happiness is. That's what our scriptures say. Another thing they say, live simply. And take life more easily if you want to progress on that. Happiness lies in giving yourself time to think and to introspect. Be alone once in a while and remain more in silence, outer silence, inner silence. Then you will see that how easily this intuition develops in the silent moment. Even the discoveries in the outer world, they happened in the silent moment. Somebody was sleeping, they had the answer to their question. Somebody was taking a shower, they had the answer to the question. Silent moment. So on a daily basis, we should pursue this. If the TV is on all the time, or any other kind of a stimuli, constantly bombarding the senses, it is truly affecting your nerves and creating nervousness in you. A nervous person can never feel this intuition, can never develop this intuition. I always tell you that even in the car, you don't need to hear that news again and again. Enjoy the ride in the car without any music, without any news. Nothing on. You will see that how beautiful it feels. And don't think so much about reforming others. Constantly in our mind, we think that others are not this, others are not that. How come they don't do it? Reform yourself first. Because when you reform yourself first, when your intuition is heightened, they'll come to you, they'll ask you, where did you get this joy, fountain of happiness? Please tell us about it. Then tell them. Do not voluntarily become a guru. Okay, be a student first. Be a seeker first. The greatest field of victory is your home. That is our kshetra. If you are a saint at home, you can be saint everywhere. This is our testing ground. Saint not in the sense that we want to reform others. Saint in the sense that can I control my senses? Can I control my mind? Can I be peaceful no matter what is happening? Saint in that sense. That's why I said, if you are a saint at home, you can be saint everywhere. Other people don't push our buttons the way they are being pushed at home. That is the testing ground. Remember the sweetness of your voice, the peace of your behavior is needed in your own household more than anywhere else. Because we all know we can be very sweet in the parties, at the lunches. Try to be sweet at home. Only then intuition will arise, otherwise it won't. Otherwise it's just another word to know. When you contact God, intuitive perception of truth will guide you in all areas of your life. All areas. See, just like if a body is healthy, that healthful body is beneficial in all the areas of our life. The same way, this intuition helps us in every area. So why not consciously, not by hunch, but consciously attain that power, which will never fail us. Because we saw that senses can fail us, mind can fail us, but this intuition can never fail us. Something which is so profound. Something which the saints and the sages and the avatars, they talk about it. Which is achievable, which is right here with us. Why not try to get it? Realize that power within yourself. Make it a habit. Regularly. You will find that power works in everything to make your life complete. Complete. Otherwise, we feel that there is some kind of something is missing in our life. But when you feel this intuitive power has arisen, you feel completeness. And this is what our sages, they called it Kritya. Fulfillment of life after you achieve this. An outcome of that will be that your health will vibrate. So physical health will improve. Your mind will have more clarity, more concentration, and you will realize that your soul is a receptacle of God's unfailing, ever guiding truth. Truth which is absolute truth. Truth which the rishis called the wisdom. We make our life complete by contact with God. So far we have been thinking that our life is complete only if I have another position or another zero in my paycheck. No, it's contact with God. Without Him, life is not complete. That is it. Give your attention to the almighty power that is giving you life and strength and wisdom. We have forgotten Him. It is so sad that in schools, they can't even say the name of God. Because this should be taught to the little kids. So if the schools are not doing it, or not, technically they cannot, for some reason, do it at home. Mother and father should do it. Pray that unceasing truth flow into your mind. Unceasing strength will flow into your body. And unceasing joy you will feel right inside you. It's a fountain of joy inside us. Meditate and you will realize the omnipresent absolute truth, and you will see the mysterious workings in your life. Mysterious. And in all the glories of the creation. So in order to feel this, in order to get to this absolute truth, in order to heighten your intuition, meditate and pray both. And you all know meditation is God is talking to us. That's why after meditation, spend some time just feeling that deep relationship with Him. And prayer is when we are talking to God. He does listen. Don't think that it's just a picture or a statue. God is there. God is there. Visualize that. God appears. In Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 18, verse number 20, Krishna, what is He saying to us? In fact, each and every chapter, He is just taking us towards this. But look at this verse. Sarvabhuteshu yen ekam bhavam avyam ikshate. He says, oh Arjuna, understand that knowledge to be sattvic, by which the one indestructible spirit is perceived in all beings. Everywhere. There's no place where He is not. Avibhaktam vibhakteshu. Undivided in the divided. Because our eyes see it divided, but God is undivided. So sarvabhuteshu yenekam bhavam avyam ikshate. So we have to raise to that level our sight, our understanding. Avibhaktam vibhakteshu tat jnanam vidhi sattvikam. So that's how we know God. By making it pure and bringing our own attention towards that substance, that truth, that absolute, which is everywhere. Okay, so let's stop it here and we'll have some discussion. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Om. Thank you very much.